There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me and you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. See when new eyes allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love and welcome to peace. Welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here, and you are welcome here. And breathe in and out. Slowly feel all that's around you, and all that you feel, and all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, 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 when we unite. Yeah, yeah, when we unite. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. And peace is welcome here. And you are welcome here.
Good morning, SLCA family. Please join me in saying our morning affirmation. How I choose to think creates my personal experience. Therefore, I choose to think affirmatively. I choose to speak affirmatively. I choose to live affirmatively. Not only is this my right, it is my responsibility as a conscious being. I allow myself to be guided, used, and available for the reawakening of everyone's magnificence. The moment is now, and I say yes. And join me and sing, and so it is.
And so it is. Good morning, SLCA family. Happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers, grandmothers, and aunties and all of the women in our congregation and all of us celebrating the divine feminine that moves through all of us and creates that nurturing energy in the world. It is a great day to be in community. I'm so delighted to be with you this morning. We are broadcasting from our homes this morning as we continue to prepare our space on Claremont Road for not only live services, but also having audience in the room and community gathering again. We're getting there. We're getting there. We'll have a few more services that we broadcast from there with just our staff, and then we will be ready in July. So continue to look forward to that. My name is David Alexander. I'm the spiritual director here, and it's my great delight to welcome you into Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, a community with over 40-year history rooted here in the greater Atlanta area and reaching out and creating networks and community all across the country and across the world. So welcome wherever you are. Please say hello in the chat this morning on Facebook, on YouTube. We welcome you from the West Coast to the East Coast, from the Midwest and everywhere in between. We're so honored to have you with us today. Let's have a great experience. Let me tell you just a few things that are happening here so that you know how to connect, grow, serve, and give. We'll start off with giving. We're so grateful for our ways to give. To contribute, it's very easy. It's just like texting a friend. Send the dollar amount that you want in a text to the phone number you see on your screen, and it'll prompt you for all of the rest of the details. If you want to use PayPal or some other method, those are all available on our website at slca.com/donations. And of course, we still open the mail every day as well and take checks that way as well. So whatever way you choose to give today, be in divine right relationship with the law of circulation in your life. We hope that you receive something of value today, and we pray that you act in response to that value in right relationship with it. Amen. We will do our blessing for all of our gifts at the end of the service a little bit later on. Tuesday nights is Twin Heart Meditation Night with Reverend Ursula Lentini at 7 p.m. That's Eastern Time. And thank you, Reverend Ursula, one of our staff ministers, for doing such a great job last Sunday, kicking off this month's theme of Holy, Holy Uprising. And looking at that, we're so grateful to have you and your gifts in our community. So if you want to do deep dive meditation with Reverend Ursula, you can do that on Tuesday evenings. Wednesday is our deep dive of science mind education, looking at living the science mind. Excuse me. And you do not have to have taken another class or even been a part of this Wednesday previously to jump in. You can come any week that you choose, that you're available. Starts at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. This week will be facilitated by Reverend Susan Zoller, one of our other staff ministers. We have great staff ministers serving this community. And this is a great opportunity to be with a group of people, explore, open up, and look at a piece of writing or work from Ernest Holmes and unpack it in a very welcoming and friendly atmosphere. Again, you don't have to take any previous classes or know anything in particular. Just bring your curiosity and your willingness to be in dialogue together. We also do that on Sunday mornings via our adult study on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. That's 1 hour, 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's facilitated by our practitioners. And that looks at readings from Science of Mind magazine. So Wednesday nights is Living the Science of Mind. Sunday mornings is with our practitioners and through the Science of Mind magazine. So look forward to joining us with that as well. We have a food and drive coming up here, starting today, actually, that we're doing with our Unitarian friends down the road in partnership with Toco Hills Community Alliance. And so our participation in that is going to be today from 1 to 3 at the parking lot there on Claremont Road. And we're looking for, of course, food items, no glass, please, nothing in glass containers, and non-perishable, I think, is preferred. And we're also doing diapers. And diapers 4, 5, and 6 are what is most needed with families that are coming through Toco Hills Community Alliance. Those are the sizes that run out the most because those are the ones that little infants and babies go through the most. And let me tell you, I know all about that. So we have as you know, have had a long relationship with Toco Hills Community Alliance, mostly informally, but we're in the process of making that relationship formal in committing a certain amount of our tithing to go to them each year, and also in commitment to helping them with projects like this. So we've decided we want to take on the families. We want to take on diapers. That's be one of the things that we do on a regular basis. We'll have members serving on their board. So we're really formalizing that partnership, and I'm so excited because Toco Hills Community Alliance does such good work in our community, and we can leverage our desire to help make the world a better place by contributing our good to them for that work. So I know it's Mother's Day. If you are headed out to the park or movie or drive or whatever it is, would you be willing stop by Walmart or Costco or Kroger or wherever you choose, pick up a box of diapers and drop it off at the parking lot 1 to 3 today. And I don't think we have this set up for today, but I want you to know, for all of you watching non-locally, as we continue to develop this relationship, we'll have ways online that you can simply donate and say, Toco Hills will go and buy the diapers or food or whatever's most needed at that particular time. So we want you to know we're talking to everybody in our community, whether you can drive by this space today or not. Wonderful. We're looking forward to that relationship continuing to grow and thrive. Practitioners are available. If you are in need of prayer today, make yourself available to them. They're available in the chat and right after the service. So just let your need be known in the chat. They will let themselves be known, identifying as a practitioner available for prayer. And you can get prayer to celebrate something that's unfolding in your life, to anchor something that you are hoping or desiring to bring forward or to manifest, or to get some spiritual relief, some support, some care through that prayer, whatever form it takes. Our practitioners are available to support you, and they are well trained and ready to serve. And we're grateful for each of them. Once again, happy Mother's Day. We're so delighted you're with us. Be sure to share this on your social media platforms. Use the hashtag SLCA, we belong, and let people know what you're doing this morning. And again, to all of the divine feminine energy in our community, we'll do some ceremony around that in just a little bit. But I bless you. I honor you. I thank you for being here today. Good morning.
I will tend my anger. I will tend my grief. I will achieve safety. I will find relief. I'll show myself mercy. I'll show myself respect. I'll decide when I'm ready to forgive but not forget. I will ask you questions. I'll try to understand. And if you give me your story, I will hold it in my hands. Yes, I will bring the love, revolutionary love. I will bring the love, revolutionary love. I will bring the love, revolutionary love, the revolutionary love. And even if you hurt me, I will not shut down. No, you can't make me hate you and carry that hate around. I will see no stranger. Only parts of myself I don't yet know. I'll see right through evil to a wound too scared to show. I'll have the power to stay open. I have the power to be the one that I've been waiting for, the one who sets me free. Yes, I can bring the love, revolutionary love. I can bring the love, revolutionary love. I can bring the love, revolutionary love, revolutionary love. I can bring the love, revolutionary love. I can bring the love, the revolutionary love. The love, revolutionary love, the revolutionary love. Thank you.
Namaste. The energy from that song continues to reverberate through my being. And I invite you to go into prayer treatment with me at this time. My name is Baji. I'm one of the licensed spiritual practitioners here at the center. And this is what I know. Close your eyes, take a breath, and join me in knowing this too, that wherever I am, there is a powerful presence for good. This power is love. It is the revolutionary love of the cosmos. Its nature surrounds me. It embraces me at all times, filling me with the essence of what it is. This divine revolutionary love is available to me whenever I breathe and invite it in. And what is available for me is available for you. It's available for each and every person. And so I use my consciousness and my heart and my words this morning to elevate the love that it may reign in and through all of this earth. I know that there is goodness that is available to me at all times. And so I turn away from any discordant appearance, any condition unlike that which I choose to experience. And I focus on the good, on that which elevates my mood, that which vibrates energy into me. And I allow myself to create with the divine one glorious outcomes in my life. And as I do that, I uplift life throughout the universe, for truly there's only one life. And so I am in high gratitude this Mother's Day. I am giving thanks for this gift of life that has been given to me. And I pass it on. For truly we are all mothers, loving each other, giving life through our smiles, through our hearts. And so I simply say thank you. And I release my word into the law. And I let it be. And so it is.
With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. Through
Thank you, Penelope. And thank you, Practitioner Bachi Daniels, for that powerful anchoring prayer. Practitioner Jean Bell for our opening call to service. And for, of course, always every week, John Stringer for our opening song. So wonderful, wonderful to be in community this morning. And a special shout out again to all the mothers. We're going to do a little ceremony honoring the breadth and the wide continuum of the energying of motherhood in just a little bit. But I see that my mother's watching. Hi, Mom. We'll call you later. You see the placard behind me. Everybody call your mother today. So she's watching. Shout out to my mom on there. And how cool is it? I was just thinking, somebody said to Anna Holmes, the mother of Ernest Holmes, and as soon as the little shout out to Anna Holmes went up, I thought, not only did she give birth to Ernest, but Ernest was one of 9 children, all boys. So can we just stop and give a great shout of glory and thanksgiving to Anna Holmes, raising 9 boys. My goodness, what a journey that must have been. And I was just reflecting and thinking for a moment, what came into this teaching, my mother did through the invitation of a coworker and through the invitation through the Science Mind magazine. And this wasn't planned this way, but how cool is it that the May issue of Science Mind magazine, her son and her daughter-in-law are on the cover, and is during May, Mother's Day. So pretty awesome there. Still want to invite you to pick these up at Barnes & Noble if you can. If they're available there, please ask for them. If they're not, the managers should be able to get them from their distributor, and it'd be nice to know if there's a demand for them. And this is the best way to let somebody know about our teaching, especially this month, especially if you're talking about Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, because we're right there named on the cover. And so the article and of course all the content in the magazine was just a great promo piece and very fun. I was just thinking about the just serendipitous nature of that's how myself and my family came into the philosophy, was through the magazine. And here we are some 40 plus years later, and her son is on the cover. So it was pretty cool. All right. So today, this month, we're talking about, as the cover of the magazine would indicate, Holy, Holy Uprising, and looking at what that means socially, personally, and today looking at the title Revolutionary Love. Revolutionary Love as a what I affirm to be a leading edge spiritual organization. Centers for Spiritual Living, a leading edge spiritual organization, the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, on the leading edge of what it means to to not only lift ourselves up into our own wholeness, but to pervasively care for all of humanity as our own, and to affirm and to know the divinity and goodness available to all, right? As a leading edge spiritual organization that does that, we invite people to take these tools of transformation to, we're poised to take humanity into a new direction, into a new paradigm of consciousness. And we're invited to demonstrate that in our own lives, right? We're invited to be the plate, not just to preach it, right? But to live it, to be the demonstration of the teaching in our centers, in our communities, in our own practice, and then in the world. And to do so, it means we have to rise up to the occasion. We have to step up to the plate, so to speak, to use a sports metaphor, right? We got to, the game is on the line, and we got to step up to the plate and draw on what is within us to follow through for this moment of humanity. And I'm so honored that we get to do this together here as a family in Atlanta. And so as we lean into this title, Revolutionary Love, today, let's begin with an honoring. This is something I do on a regular basis on Mother's Day, and it's very powerful to do so when we're all in the room, have the mothers and the grandmothers stand, and we maybe, find out who the newest mother is in the congregation, or who the eldest grandmother is. And, I'm thinking of there's my mother, but there's also our church mother in SLCA. That's Maddie Hammond. So Mother Maddie, she is our church mother to all of us. We send you love and blessings this day. And so, it's a special time to create that. And I want to do that virtually. I want you to imagine those names I just mentioned, the mothers and the aunties and the mothering energy that we have in our community, those that serve our children. And by the way, the divine feminine runs through all of us. Some of us in male identified bodies can show up in mothering energy as well. Amen. It's a beautiful thing. And we're called to do that, by the way, all of us are. And so as we imagine that, and we imagine those that are participating online in California and Missouri and Illinois and Alabama and Texas and everywhere that you are, Oregon, that our community circle expands, and we're including the mothers of those communities and of those individuals. And so I just right now want to invite you to expand, not only feeling the sense of maybe being in the room together and all the mothers that we would be honoring, but also expanding that room to include every state and every place where somebody is watching, and we include that community right there as well. So it's really creating in this moment a virtual and global community. And I'm going to read a list of honorings as we acknowledge the various ways that motherhood can show up. And we're going to bless and honor each of them. I'll ring a bell in between each of them. Can we do that together? Let's just move into kind of a sacred ritual here this morning. I invite you to feel the connection of doing this together as a community. And so in the acknowledgement of the wide continuum that is motherhood, we honor and acknowledge those who gave birth this year to their first child. We celebrate with you. Take a deep breath each time you hear the bell. To those who lost a child this year, we mourn with you. To those who are in the trenches with little ones every day and wear the badge of food stains, we appreciate you and we honor you this day. To those who have experienced loss through a miscarriage, failed adoption, or a child running away, We mourn with you. To those who walk the hard path of infertility, fraught with pokes and prods and tears and disappointments, we walk with you. And we ask for forgiveness when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make things harder than they are. To those who are foster moms, mentor moms, spiritual moms, we thank you. We need you. To those who have warm and close relationships with your children, we celebrate with you this day. To those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with your children, we sit with you. To those of us who have lost our mother this year, we grieve with you. To those of mothers who live through driving tests and medical tests and the overall testing of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. To those who are single and long to be married and mothering your own children, we stand with you in that possibility. To those who will have an emptier nest this year, in the upcoming year, we grieve with you and we rejoice with you. To those who have placed children up for adoption, we commend you for your selflessness, for doing what was best in the interest of your child, and we hold both you and the child in our hearts. And to those of you who are pregnant with new life, both expecting and surprised, we celebrate with you. This Mother's Day, we walk with you, for mothering is not for the faint of heart. We have real warriors in our midst, and we are grateful to each of them. And at this time, we would applaud and celebrate and acknowledge the various continuums of motherhood in the room. So we just do that virtually now. Would you do me a favor in the chat? I want to create virtual experience here. Put the name of your mother or a mother that you, grandmother, an aunt, somebody who is a spiritual mother. Go ahead and put their name in the chat if you're with us on Facebook Live or on YouTube. We'd love to see that energy flowing through the service in this moment. We acknowledge and celebrate all of those expressions of mothering this morning. Amen. Amen. And so as we lean into this notion, and I hope those names continue to flow, keep it going as we just let that energy reverberate throughout the virtual space here. We ask ourselves today, what would revolutionary love look like? What would revolutionary love look like? Revolution is defined by a fundamental change in the way of thinking or visualizing something, a change of paradigm, right? Revolutionary is even better defined as involving or causing a complete or dramatic change. Involving or causing a complete and dramatic change. Revolution, a fundamental change in the way of thinking about or visualizing something, a change in paradigm. Revolutionary love is a love that changes the paradigm, the way of thinking, the way of being, the way of seeing. A complete or dramatic change. Love is defined in the Science of Mind text by Ernest Holmes, son of Mother Anna Holmes, as the self-givingness of the spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Again, love, as a spiritual principle, is the self-givingness of the spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. In other words, you exist as a creation because the universe loved itself. It loved itself enough to bring you into form. It wanted to know itself as you. It wanted to know itself as the expression called you. Through your parents and through your siblings and through your upbringing, it wanted to know itself as the identity called you, so that it might better know itself, better love itself, and better expand the awareness of what that love is. When I think of revolutionary love in terms of motherhood and the divine feminine, I think of so many things. I think of the way in which Mother's Day actually came into being, which I'll talk about in a moment. I think of, the nun and the Catholic mystic Hildegard, right? Who she didn't give birth to children; she gave birth to so many things. And she wrote opera hundreds of years before it was a popular form. Hundreds of years before it was popular. I was laughing the other day thinking about our workbook on recovering from the lie of whiteness, and because of comments on the blog and things of that nature, I sometimes wonder if I'm writing for another time, right? If I'm writing for an audience that isn't here yet. Right? I've been reading a lot of James Baldwin lately, and I get the sense that he had the sense that he was writing for an audience that wasn't even able to purchase his books yet, right? Hildegard was writing opera hundreds of years before it was a popular form. She talked about the morality and developed the first morality play. She talked about, and she created a complete full-fledged theology around the cosmic Christ, her love for the divine. She talked about herbal medicine and basically homeopathic cures, and just gave birth to so much through her love of humanity, through her love of God, through her love of the connection with the earth and with each other, through the love of music, right? And in particular, then, Mother's Day began in the 1860s as a response to the Civil War. It was initially a call for peace, that mothers from the South and mothers from the North would gather together and say no to any further wars. They would proclaim peace in their land. And then it expanded even to a global movement of motherhood. The author of the original Mother's Day Proclamation, Julia Ward Howe, who, by the way, would have been reading Emma Curtis Hopkins, New Thought pioneer and trailblazer, and many other works of the various small magazine publications that were prolific through the women's movement and filled with inspired writers of New Thought that were women. Julia Ward Howe wrote this first proclamation in 1870 in Boston. And it's so powerful. I read it almost every year because it's just, it's got so much power and juice still in it. It says this: "Arise then, women of this day. Arise, all women who have hearts, whether our baptism be that of water or of tears. Say firmly, our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have ever been able to teach them. That we, women of this country, will be too tender to those of another country to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs. From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice grows up with our own, saying, disarm, disarm. Let women now leave all that they may left of home for a great and earnest day of council. Let them meet first as women to wail, and then to commemorate the dead, and then to take solemnly counsel with each other as to the means by where the great human family can live in peace, each bearing after their own time the sacred impress, not of Caesar, but of God. In the name of womanhood and humanity, I earnestly ask for peace. That is Mother's Day. Arise, women of this day, that we would not let our sons be trained to kill or injure the sons of other women, other countries. Remember, it began out of the birth of the Civil War, so North and South, but then expanded to a global philosophy. It was a beautiful call to rise up to the angels of our better nature, as Lincoln would say in the end of the Civil War, to create peace through reestablishing our connection that we all came from a mother, the Mother Earth, and the original mother of humanity. And that as we remember that, we can use that as a bridge to bring our best selves forward and create peace in this world. As I read that proclamation this year in meditation this week, I was taken to the founding of the Black Lives Matter movement. You know, it's three women that established the Black Lives Matter movement, right? In response to seeing their children and their friends' children and their neighbors' children, young Black boys in particular, being murdered in the streets through police violence and racist acts, to create this movement that says, let us rise up, let us gather together and say, Black Lives Matter. It's very much the same energy, the same spirit, it's the same welling up of the divine motherhood that gave birth to Mother's Day in 1870, gave birth to this movement we find ourselves in the midst of now. And so we must answer that call, all of us, male and female and everyone on the gender spectrum. We must all answer the call that says, arise, arise, disarm, let us come together in deeper ways. Yes. So revolutionary love, that is what revolutionary love looks like. A love that transforms and completely changes everything. Julia Ward Howe's call for Mother's Day changed everything, or it was a call to change everything. The three women that established Black Lives Matter was a call to change everything. Dr. Martin Luther King carried that revolutionary love within him when he called for peace and nonviolence as a way to presence the humanity of Black and brown bodies in the midst of racism and systemic abuse and violence, and to say, not here, not now. Emmett Till's mother, her insistence of having an open casket and it printed in Ebony magazine so that the world, and she said, let the world see what they have done to my son. Let the world see. That takes a kind of revolutionary love, a transcendent compassion and desire to allow our love to change the behavior of others, to transform the racism, the hatred, the violence in others by presencing love in such a dramatic way. You see how revolutionary love can be. You see how love is not just peace and flowers and calmness and quiet. And often we as a New Thought movement are, we say that God is love and God is all there is, and we're all about peace and oneness. And we tend to hold the love that we have for ourselves and for humanity in a way that is very passive. Right? A way that says, well, we won't, because we love and respect everybody, we won't disturb the waters. We'll make sure that our churches are safe places to come where people of different political affiliation won't be offended by anything that the minister says. And we'll make sure that nobody is offended by the food that is out on the buffet table. Oh, come on, somebody. And we'll make sure that, right? Because we have gotten lost in this notion that love is somehow passive and placid and calm. No, real love is revolutionary. Real love is dramatic. Real love, Cornel West says, justice is what love looks like in public, right? It changes everything. It stands in the face of undemocratic processes and demands democracy. It stands in the face of injustice and demands justice. It stands in the face of racism and white supremacy and demands humanity and compassion. It stands in the face of that which would contradict it and demands its presence to be known. Real love, real revolutionary love, is a love that changes everything. Just ask any mother who has ever sensed that her child was threatened in any way. That mama bear energy that we all are familiar with at some level, right? The mother who would stand up and say, to get to my child, you got to go through me first. Not on my watch. Not on my watch are you going to do that, right? That's revolutionary love. That's love that demands a dramatic shift and change. And so we are coming into a period when this revolutionary love is bubbling and rising up in our midst. It's being called to come forward. I want to give you some tools today, some practical steps, some what I'm going to call commandments for revolutionary love. Revolutionary love, then, is when we bring the science of mind philosophy of co-creation and revolutionary leaps in consciousness together with the theology of oneness and interconnectedness and the natural love that comes with all of that. Revolutionary love is bringing the collective change that is needed through our love for one another. It is bold in that it asks us to act on behalf of ourselves and act on behalf of those we love, and maybe even act on behalf of those that we have yet to learn how to love. Because the love doesn't know any bounds, and it asks us to act even in ways that might surprise us, right? So there are three commandments that I want to give to you for revolutionary love. I'm calling them commandments today because love is a command of the universe. It's a command to love ourselves, to love one another, to love God. It's a command. It's not a request. It's a command. First commandment of revolutionary love: accept your own wholeness. This is at the bedrock of our teaching, science of mind, religious science, philosophy, that says that you are whole and complete as you are, that you are an emanation of divine love, that there is, as you accept your own wholeness, you step into an embodied awareness that you are whole, perfect, and complete, and have always been whole, perfect, and complete, that there's nothing that you need to change or rearrange, there's nothing you need to do, there's nothing except love that you need to allow yourself to feel and to enter in and to emanate from your own being, and that love is transformative. Accept your own wholeness. And we see in the context of a world that is constantly trying to get us to be something else, to change our body, to change our mind, to change our behaviors, to act and show up in ways that are performative to standards of beauty or behavior that are set by a commercialized world of marketing and expectations that have us shift out of our authentic selves. We see that accepting our wholeness is a revolutionary act. It's a revolutionary act to say, I am whole, perfect, and complete, just as I am, just as I am. And it turns out that kind of revolutionary love, that kind of revolutionary acceptance of ourselves is the very place from which we can change, you see, because you're not a static being. The revolutionary love of your wholeness doesn't mean that you stay the same. And that's the second commandment of revolutionary love. The second commandment is accept your evolutionary state of being. Accept your evolutionary state of being, meaning what? Meaning that you are always changing, growing, evolving, expanding. And so the love, the wholeness that you accept, the love that you apply to yourself and say, I love myself just the way that I am, that I am that you love, who I was a year ago, who I was 10 years ago, who I was 20 or 40 years ago, is not who I am today. And the person that I'm loving today is not who I'm going to be 10 years from now, or 2 years from now, or even 6 months from now. Why? Because I'm an evolutionary being. And so the revolutionary love of accepting your wholeness means not only accept yourself right now as you are, but accept yourself as you evolve. Accept your growing, changing nature. Step into your more authenticity, and don't bother caring or worrying about, is it the same as who I was yesterday? See, when you love yourself from a revolutionary love, you can change. We create a welcoming and opening and accepting and affirming space for people in the transgender community, right? Because we can say we see you as loving yourself, your authentic self, as you evolve into who you really are and who you've always been at a spiritual level. But you're moving into that journey of having the outer match the inner, right? Through choice and through love and through acceptance, right? And they're teachers for us. The Native Americans called them two-spirited, right? And there's a lot of bills going on right now in legislation in various state houses, over 20 of them, I think, that are anti-transgender discriminatory bills. And so our community needs a lot of love from us right now. So we encourage you to continue to love yourself and know that you are not alone, that we stand with you, and that we'll fight the anti-transgender discrimination legislation. And we will work to build a world that understands what it means. And we'll do this through these commandments, the revolutionary act of loving ourselves, loving our own wholeness, accepting ourselves as an evolutionary being, always changing, growing, becoming more. And then the third commandment, there's only 3. So here's the last one. First, accept your own wholeness. 2, accept that you are an evolutionary being. And 3, let the power of your love disturb the world. Whew. I don't have the little bell today, but I got my singing bowl right here. Right? Let the power of your love disturb the world. Dr. Martin Luther King was able to stand in the midst, on the line, in the face of discrimination and oppression and hatred, and say, because I love myself, because I love who I am, because I love my people, because I know who we are, we presence our humanity in the face of your discrimination, in the face of your hatred. You deal with the cognitive dissonance that when you see me, you see a man, and yet your behaviors deny a man. You work that out on yourself. I don't got to work that out. I just have to be myself. You see, let the power of our love disturb the world. Let it shake people up. Let the power of our love for our transgender brothers and sisters and those on the continuum and the journey, right? Those that identify as they, those are going from he to she, those are going from she to he, those that are going into that wonderful inclusive space of they, all of them, right? Let our power of their love disturb the world. You know, I think that that's what's at the heart of so many of these anti-discrimination. It's a lack of education and understanding, but I think also very powerfully, it's the fact that these individuals come into such a wholeness of their own being, such a radical love of self, that those of us who don't love ourselves don't know what to do in that presence, right? Have you ever been in the presence of somebody who so radically, inclusively, and authentically loves themselves that it actually disturbs you a little bit? That's a good thing, right? Because it shows you where you got some work to do. right? It shows you where there's some uncomfortableness, where there's some uneasiness, and you, oh, what it's not them. What's going on in me that upsets me, that disturbs me, that makes me uncomfortable? That's where I've got work to do, right? So let your love be so radical that it disturbs the world. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's a hidden clause in each of these commandments. If you know me, you know that I always have what I say and then the thing behind what I say, right? So there's the 3 commandments, and then there's the hidden clause within them. Number 1, it's what I've, for many years, decades, have been calling the radical implication of our teaching and of our principles, right? So the radical implication here is if we accept our own wholeness, right? If I accept my own wholeness, then the hidden clause is I must also accept the wholeness of others. You see, and it seems logical, seems simple maybe to us, but the application of that sometimes can be very difficult. If I accept my own wholeness, then I must, through the nature of the oneness that I share with all of humanity, I must be willing to accept the wholeness of others. Second one, if I accept myself as an evolutionary being, watch this, I must accept the evolutionary nature of others. Ooh, you hear that? That means I must allow other people to grow. If I accept my evolutionary nature, if I know that I'm not the same, I'm not a static person, I'm growing and evolving, and who I was before is not who I'm going to be later, and compared to who I am now, I'm on an evolutionary journey. And so is everybody else. So I need to love them where they are and love them enough that they can grow into who they're becoming, and not hold them to who they were or who I thought they were. Amen, somebody. If you're going to accept the evolutionary nature of your own being, you got to accept the evolutionary nature of those around you, in your family, in your workplace, and in the world, in the body politic, right? Everywhere that we see others. And finally, how about this? How about the last one? If we allow the power of our love to disturb the world, then how about the hidden clause in that one? How about allowing the power of what others love to disturb us? Right? To allow ourselves to be disturbed by the radical love of others. To allow it to shake us at our foundations and show us something that maybe we couldn't see before. To open ourselves up and to say, what is it that you are so passionate about, that you love so much, that it actually causes me to rethink some things, to open up and expand my notion of what love is, or what inclusion is, or what justice is, or where you're coming from. Doesn't mean we'll always agree with them, but maybe we'll be able to see where somebody else is coming from. And then we will find a deeper place in which we can then circle back, accept our wholeness, accept their wholeness, accept our evolutionary nature, accept their evolutionary nature. Let our love disturb the world. Let ourselves be disturbed by the love of others. You see, what that does is it keeps us in constant covenant with each other, in constant communication. What I just gave you is not a formula that brings world peace. It's a formula that brings connection. It brings communion. It brings dialogue. It means we have to stay engaged with each other and say, what do you mean by that? Right? Yeah. We see this. We see the great balance of this radical love, and the revolutionaries like Dr. Martin Luther King and Jesus the Christ, and in so many others. But it is ours to rise up in holy, holy ways, to accept this revolutionary love and to use it through our being. The biggest challenge, and as we bring this to a close today, the biggest challenge is that we think we're doing it alone, right? I think that I have to so love the world that everything changes and I'm doing it by myself. Here's the thing. You're not alone. You're part of the evolutionary nature of the divine. The entire world is engaged in this dynamic unfolding. You're just a single part of it. But as you say yes to it, as you open yourself up, you begin to feel the way in which the world is right there on track with you. And that's because that's the biggest challenge to stepping into this kind of energy and love. I wanted to close today with a poem by David White. Can we give thanks for David White's mother? I don't know her name, but he's an amazing poet, and we're grateful for David White. I'm grateful for David White's mother today. And he has this poem called Everything is Waiting. And for me, it just fits so beautifully with this idea of knowing that I'm not alone in bringing my revolutionary love to the world, that there is community, even in our isolation states that we are still in. There is community. So I want you to know that wherever you are, I see you. I feel you. We are community together. We're going to bring this revolutionary love to the world and change some things and allow ourselves to be changed in the midst. And until we can be together physically, know that you are not alone. You are not alone. This is Everything is Waiting by David White. Your great mistake is to act the drama as if you were alone. Your great mistake is to act the drama as if you were alone, as if life were a progressive and cunning crime with no witnesses to the tiny, hidden transgressions. To feel abandoned is to deny the intimacy of your surroundings. To feel abandoned is to deny the intimacy of your surroundings. Surely even you, at times, have felt the grand array, the swelling presence, the chorus, crowding out your solo voice. You must note the way the soap dish enables you, or the window latch grants you freedom. Alertness is the hidden discipline of familiarity. Alertness is the hidden discipline of familiarity. The stairs are your mentors of things to come. The doors have always been there to frighten and invite you. The tiny speaker in the phone is your dream ladder to divinity. Put down the weight of your aloneness and ease into the conversation. The kettle is singing even as it pours you a drink. The cooking pots have left their arrogant aloofness, seeing the good in you at last. All the birds and creatures of the world are unutterably themselves. And everything is waiting for you. Let us step into a week and a month and a life of revolutionary love, loving our wholeness, loving our evolutionary nature, and letting ourselves be disturbed and letting our love disturb the world in ways that wake us up into the great collective of humanity that we are. I love you all. Peace and blessings. Happy Mother's Day again. Namaste.
That is your cue for our grateful giving. First, we give thanks for that powerful message from our spiritual director. Thank you, Reverend David. And now I invite you to say with me our affirmation for grateful giving. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me, multiplied abundantly, and so it is. There are a variety of ways that you can contribute to the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, and I invite you to do so to help us spread our message of oneness. You can make a contribution by visiting slca.com/donations, or you may text your gift, and you can text to 404-800-9467. 404-800-9467. Let's keep flowing this revolutionary love. Thank you.
We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world. We envision a world. And we see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone.